Hey guys, welcome to this little special. Thought I'd make a video of me screeding this driveway, and I'll give you some tips as we're going along here, what I'm thinking of when I'm doing it, as much as I can anyway. We'll start off with Lance has already magged the top edge where we're joining up to the other concrete. Right at the end you sort of want to push it up, see I'm pushing it back up, because you'll pull it away from the old concrete. The slump. So I'm just kicking the mud up with my feet. I hate doing that. A good raker's back should actually fill my holes in as I'm walking back, make sure I've got enough mud. And once I've done one pad, like I've got the screed down flat to start with, from that point on, you keep part of the screed on that flatness and you run into the high. And sometimes you cut across it, sometimes you just pull it straight back. You should always try to pull straight back to start with. And if it gets too much on one side, instead of pulling it straight back, cut it to your left or to your right. Like I always say, make sure that cutting edge is towards you. It's got to be towards you, that cutting edge. Otherwise the screed will just roll over the concrete. And make sure you use your fingers on the green part of the screed. The handle's there just to keep your hands out of the concrete, but your fingers have to go in onto the green part of the screed, and they get into the concrete sometimes. But you can't screed with these screeds holding that handle, and that's it. It would just nearly be impossible. Your wrist would just roll. It would just break your wrist. And I knew a lot of people, before I started making these videos, some of the guys I worked with, the very first video I made, it's on this channel, I show people how to screed and I teach them about using the fingers, and even the guys I worked with didn't even understand that. They never did that before. I thought, no wonder you're having a hard time. And I just cruise through like nothing. It's ridiculous. So make sure you use your fingers. So I mean, I have really sore fingers sometimes. It doesn't matter what fingers I use, I can change my fingers around. As long as I've got one finger on that screed, on the one side of it, and my thumb on the other side, I'm all good. You can tweak it backwards and forwards. Tweak it up and down. I got Luke behind me here. And I got Greg as well. They're both okay, but Luke's a concrete labourer. Greg's a bobcat driver, but comes and helps us sometimes, so. They did pretty good, but a really good raker can make my job so much easier and I can do it so much quicker. I'm only as quick as the rake people up. I can't pull all that mud back with that screed. If I did that, I'd bend the screed. So yeah, you have to have good rakers behind you. And you don't want them to have it too high, and you don't want to have it too low. When you have it too low, you've got to always scrape and you'll have dips and shit in it. Because you're trying to find the concrete with the screed. You can't do that. You got to cut down to your pads, not build up to your pads. Your pads will be destroyed on the sides. Like down here I'm going, there's a nib wall and Lance has magged it and trouted it all up. So I'm going all the way to the nib wall, and then on the other side I've got boxing, so I've got to run off the top of the boxing. You hear the boys talking a fair bit here. I'll let you go for a minute.
We're going to milk the cows. We're going to go milk the cows, eh?
Okay, that's this little section done. Well, the first truck really. We're just waiting for some more trucks, I'm pretty sure. And we're away again. Put you on time lapse for a minute. Just speed through this a little bit. It's all about closing it up. Like, you gotta close it up. You close it up, make it nice and flat. The work later is so much easier. Alright, Kev's on the camera for me here. So I'm trying to pull back straight here. Scraping off the boxer, making sure. And boom, close it up. That rolling edge you got on the outside, that's your closing edge. That's how you close it up. When you push it forward, you're actually using the front edge to close it up. See how it cuts to the side? Like, see how I pull it? I'm pulling it to my left there. And for some reason, it's like a knife. When you pull back, if you can pull straight back, it's hard. You cut it, slice a little bit to the side. It makes it, I don't know, half as hard. It's really good. A little bit further here. Starting to get wider up here, so eventually, I think that's an 8-foot screed, the one I'm on, and I think I'll get them to the 10-foot screed. Alright, I'm still going back with the 8-foot screed. Using my fingers, looking side to side. See my head going side to side all the time too. And like when you actually screen, like, it's like you gotta, like, sometimes you gotta hover your arms. Like, the wetter it is, the more you gotta hover your body and hover your arms. Like, you can't be pushing down on the screen when it's wet. You gotta make it level. You gotta hold your hands level, hold the screed level while you're cutting through the concrete. Otherwise, if you don't hold it level, it'll just ride over the concrete. A lot of people, when they're raking back, the first bit of concrete they rake back is a fair bit, and then the rake just lifts up and does nothing after that. And they think they're getting rid of it. They're not. You gotta push pressure down that rake sometimes. And some people put too much pressure down on it and take too much out. So, yeah. It's one of those things that you just got to keep playing with, I suppose. And the more you play with it, the better you get at it. You get an eye. You get that eye for it. I can tell what's going on with my screed. Everything. I can move my screed around everywhere, and the lines that I put into my screed tells me how far I'm going, how high I'm going. Alright, I'm on to the 10-foot screed now. I can reach the boxing a lot easier now. See, I'm pulling it towards my feet, like towards myself, cutting across. You never want to pull a really big screed straight back, especially if you've got heaps of concrete on one side. It's gonna not be good. You're gonna bend the screed in the middle, and vice versa. You got too much in the middle, you can bend it around the high bit in the middle. We're going to turn around in a minute and come back the other way. I think I'll go back to that 8-foot screed again, eventually. We're going to get rid of the pump. And just back the last bit of the truck in at the end there. If you haven't watched the video of this when we were doing this driveway, it should be on this channel somewhere. It actually rained on us after this and just kept raining and raining and raining. But lucky it was screeded properly and it was nice and flat. There was no real work you had to do to make it flat. It turned out alright in the end after all that rain. We hit it heaps of times. Every time it stopped raining, we'd hit it and it would rain again. We'd hit it and it would rain again. But in the end, it turned out pretty good. Alright, we're going to turn around here. Alright, we're going to turn around and go this way. There's an actual drain just there. At the end there, we've got like 2 bits of boxing about 200 apart. And there's going to be a steel drain that goes inside there. So if you're ever meeting up to an end, you're better off doing it this way, really. So you have no lip and the whole end bit of the boxing meets up with the middle of the concrete. So now I've got to watch out that I don't dig in too much on my left-hand side there. And the other side I've got boxing, so easy. But sometimes the boxing can be hard to go off. If you think it's easy to go off the boxing, that's where you get all that chattering and stuff on your screed, or when you use a bit of timber or something. Because when it hits the boxing, especially wooden boxing, it seems to chatter along it. It doesn't really scrape along it very good. Plastic boxing, it slides along beautiful. If I could screed off plastic boxing every day, that'd be the easiest concreting you could do, I reckon. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And it helps you learn a bit more about how to use a screed. This is a master finish screed. Master finish make some of the best screeds. Well, they're all virtually the same thing. They're a piece of aluminium with a little bit of bend in them for the little sharp lip and the little rounded lip, and the handle on top. Lots of companies do make them. I'm thinking about making my own one day, even. What colour should I make mine if I made my own? What do you guys reckon? It's something I use a lot. I like to make a carbon fibre one. Make a real high-end one. I wonder how long it will last, carbon fibre. What else can you make them out of? If there's any guys out there that make tools, what could you make a screed out of that's light and strong? These are all made out of aluminium. Get a bit more close up. We're nearly done. Like most of my work I do, I screed a lot of the jobs. That's what people hire me for, is to screed the concrete. I don't own my own business. I just work for everyone else. I help them run their business, help them do the concreting. And they know I do a good job when I'm on the screed, and everything else is easy. Even when we put it in, it's easy, because most of the time I'll do it all. As long as I've got people pulling back for me, it's done. And the finishing job is a piece of piss, as you guys see. It's never hard for us to finish. There's nothing to do. All we have to do is rub trowels over the top of it, or rub a helicopter over the top, broom it, or just keep rubbing the helicopter over the top until it's finished. We don't have to get on our hands and knees very often. Like this one we did because of the rain, and the boys wanted to get out there and try to do something, but I don't think it really mattered. The stick trowel was doing a good enough job. But you learn as you go along. That's what, in concreting, you're always learning all the time. I'm always learning. I've learned things and I've forgotten things, and I have to learn things again. So it's just one of those things. Nearly out of the concrete. Oh, I'm out. Finally out. We have got a little bit at the front to do. but we don't show you that. We'll just show you the ball floating of this one, and she will be done. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more of them like this, make sure to leave a comment down below. If you can give us a tip, give us a tip if it helped you. Don't forget to leave a comment, please like, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Lots of new content every week and sometimes every day. Every day I concrete, I make a video if I can. Thanks again for watching. Hope that helped.